Hey, Jay Wallen here. Thank you for tuning back into my channel and watching my video. Today we're going to talk about tools. If you're in any kind of pedal-driven kayak or even a trolling motor-driven kayak, this applies to you. If you're in a paddle kayak, this probably won't really be that useful for you. But one of the things that I think is really important about going fishing is making it back to the ramp at the end of the day. We all know that the ultimate goal is to make it back home. Now, I believe personally that Hobie makes the best drive on the market. However, that's not to say that things don't happen and parts don't break and sometimes things happen. We've all seen it. It's probably happened to you if you've spent enough time on the water. And a lot of people, I feel like, don't carry tools in their kayak to fix their drives or any other thing that might go wrong. Or if you do carry tools, I think a lot of people probably don't have the proper tools to fix their drives. Now, this toolkit is something that I put together myself. I geared it specifically towards the Hobie Mirage drive because that's what I use. If you want to build yourself a toolkit, maybe look at what weak points or points of potential failure in your drive. Maybe get some replacement parts and make sure you have the proper tools to be able to fix your drive. So this toolkit is geared obviously towards the Hobie Mirage drive. This is a little pouch that I picked up at Lowe's. Got all these tools. I put this together for less than 30 bucks. Weighs less than a pound, doesn't take up very much room, doesn't add a lot of weight to your boat. But at the end of the day, this could be the ticket that gets you home. So let's dig in and I'll show you everything that's in my toolkit. All right, guys, let's dig into the tool bag and I'll show you what I'm working with. So right off the bat, got a Phillips head screwdriver, nothing special. The important thing is you just really want to make sure that whatever size Phillips head you get, that it will fit the screws that are on your kayak and on your drive. There's nothing more annoying than having a screwdriver that's too big or too small to fit what you got. So make sure you get the right size Phillips head screwdriver. Next up, just a good cheap pair of needle nose pliers. Again, nothing special here. It's just a pair of pliers. This can really come in handy, if you're trying to get in a tight spot or if you're trying to hold a nut on one side, use the screwdriver on the other. These can definitely come in handy. Next up is just a flathead screwdriver. Again, nothing special here. A lot of these kayaks and a lot of these drives have different bolts, different screws. Some use Phillips, some use flatheads. This can be used, obviously in a number of different ways besides just dealing with screws. It's a good idea to have a Phillips and a flathead screwdriver both. Pretty standard stuff. Next up is, this one might be the most important, is the Allen keys or the Allen wrenches. This is just a little Cobalt set, pretty cheap. But a lot of these drives, especially the Hobie Mirage drive, a lot of different things use Allen wrenches. So you can't do a lot of things without this. So I highly recommend an Allen wrench. Next up is I've got a little roll of duct tape that I've put together. We all know duct tape is one of the fixes for everything. So it's always a good idea just to have a little bit of duct tape. You never know when that might be just what you need to keep your drive on, to keep your fins together, whatever the case may be. But it's always a good idea to have some duct tape. Let's go ahead and get these out. Another thing I always keep is a bunch of zip ties. I've got some different size zip ties in here. You can fix a lot of different things with just some zip ties. So between zip ties and duct tape, you'd be surprised what all you can fix. But definitely a good idea to have some zip ties. And these aren't permanent fixes. This is just something that, you're 6 miles from the ramp and you break down and it's December and you got to get back to the ramp. This might be just enough to get you back. Next up is I always keep the red and the blue Loctite. A lot of the nuts on the Hobie Mirage drive, you do want to use one kind or another of Loctite. Typically it's the blue. Just note that the blue is removable and the red is high strength. That's not to say it's not removable, but for all intents and purposes. Red is permanent, blue you can actually remove. So I keep a tube of both. Next up is a 7/16 ratchet wrench. And the reason I go with 7/16 again is because I'm predominantly designing this for the Hobie Mirage drive. And a lot of the nuts on the drive are 7/16. And so that's the only wrench that I keep is a 7/16. You know, take note of your drive and see what size nuts and things that fit on yours and get you a wrench that fits it. Okay, last but not least are some of these little nuts. Now I can't remember the exact size right off the top of my head, but I looked it up in the Hobie catalog and got the correct size for the nuts that fit on the Mirage drive, and I picked up some spares. You never know when you may lose a nut, you know, if somebody didn't put Loctite where they were supposed to, or you know, something happens. These things right here are worth their weight in gold. So always, if you have a Mirage drive, make sure you get some of these extra nuts. And I'll show you on the Mirage drive, one of the most important places where these nuts are used are on these cables. That's what basically keeps your Mirage drive working is you know, these cables right here. So if you lose a nut, it's really important to have some backups to maybe put your drive back together. Now, obviously there are, you know, there's screws here that are Phillips heads. There's an Allen screw right there. You know, there's an Allen key screw right there. So there's a lot of different, you know, different kinds of nuts and bolts on these things. And that's why you got to have, you know, a toolkit that encompasses everything. So this is by no means, you know, a guaranteed fix for everything. But I do feel like if something breaks on my drive, out of this stuff right here, hopefully I should be able to at least put it back together to where I can limp back to the ramp. And like I said, you know, this little bag right here, it's perfect to kind of hold everything in. And I still actually have room for some more things. But if you guys see something that I'm missing in here, drop me a comment and let me know. You know, I'm always trying to optimize my tool bag and make sure I have everything I need to address a worst case scenario. But that's pretty much it. You know, that's what I carry in my kayak. Those are my tools. And you know, it's not the end all be all, but this could get you out of a jam and get you back to the house safe. All right, guys, that's it. That's my toolkit. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you picked something up that you can use in your boat. Let me know if there's something maybe I left out. Maybe there's a special tool that I need to get that you didn't see in my kit. Leave me a comment and let me know. I'm always interested to hear what you guys are doing with your tools. But at the end of the day, this was just a helpful thing that I thought I would relay to you guys. If one person sees this, builds a toolkit, and it gets them out of a jam, then I've done my job. You guys go out there, put yourself together a little toolkit. It's cheap, it's worth it, and it can save your butt. That's it. That's all I got. If you guys liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe. Share it with your friends. This is an important one that I think a lot of people can benefit from. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.